Yeah, hopefully we're back now. We had some technical issues, but now we should be back. If we're back, please let us know if we're back online now.
Yeah, let us know, the guys. We had no idea. We just we
We
were
were
so
just
in
we're just
tune.
talking away,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think now we should be back again. And yeah, right? Yeah, welcome back. We're back again. Okay, great.
awesome.
Okay, where did we stop? You were just talking about the Oculus Go.
Yeah, we were. No, so we were talking about that. This is actually the first device that is so low priced that you can actually buy it to
Yeah,
some of your friends or
by
family
impulse.
members. Yeah. So,
Exactly.
so this is very good because this way I think a lot of new people will enter the world of virtual reality sooner or later because this is actually affordable for most people at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree with you, Sebastian.
Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, so I really think it's just like so cheap, it's just so affordable. Just people will simply try it out for the first time. And then what I hope is that they probably going to want more, right? Because we
Yeah.
know 3 degrees of freedom, it's quite limited, right? So probably
Yeah.
people want to have more then.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that people once people try out those real VR headsets, they're gonna understand the potential of it, the freedom of just moving around your head with the total freedom. So I think, yeah, it's kind of a step back, of course, but for new people, I think this is still gonna be a wow factor,
Yes,
especially since the resolution has been upgraded. It is kind of like the same resolution as you get on the Samsung Odyssey, or maybe something very close to it. At least
very close.
it says 1440p on paper. So and the lenses as well, as I said before, they are improved. They have much less God rays, much well, it has some chromatic aberration, but it
Yeah.
still looks good. It's a good VR experience. So despite the lack of total freedom, I still think this is a very good device for people just to try out and really get the sense of what VR really is.
Yes.
So
And I think it's what you just mentioned, that the lenses seem to be really good is pretty awesome. For a device that costs $199, they have, it seems like they have completely improved those lenses from the Oculus Rift. Because the Oculus Rift lenses, well, there's lots of God rays. It's one of my least favorite devices in terms of lenses because of the God rays, right?
yeah,
So,
indeed.
and now that they come up with a device that costs $199 and has improved lenses and quite a high resolution. I think it's pretty awesome. Now, what I think, here, let me show you something, Martin.
Yeah, sure.
Here,
Yeah.
this is the Vive Pro. Yeah, my favorite, my favorite device to talk about, right? So this device, it cost $799 just for the headset, and you cannot play it, right? You still need to buy the wands and the base station. So if you go for the 2.0 ones, you have to pay $1,400. But let's just talk about the $800 price. For
Yeah.
$800, you get lenses that suck because they are exactly the same lenses like the Vive. Okay, probably they don't suck, but there's no improvement. There's no improvement at all, right?
Yeah.
So you pay $800 and you get those old lenses, and for $800 and for $199, you get the Oculus Go with those improved lenses that nearly don't have God rays. So for me, it's kind of shocking how Oculus is able to improve and get better and cheaper, while HTC gets more expensive but tries to sell the same old shit,
It's very strange, even though we're
right?
drifting off topic a little bit right now. I mean, even if you look at the Gear VR, it has so much better lenses. And if Oculus could improve the lenses on a $199 device, yeah, I really find it strange that HTC Vive
Yeah,
didn't nothing for the HTC Vive
that
Pro.
is that is
But
so strange.
absolutely, I totally agree. But then again, I mean, this is 2 years later. We have to remember that Oculus Rift was released around 2 years ago. So things has happened, of course, behind the curtains. So I think that the next generation of the Oculus Rift and probably HTC Vive will have better lenses as well, because I think people are starting to, make an uprising now. And I'm not only talking about that video I made, with this lens switch, but a lot of people just hate those Fresnel lenses that are really bad in a lot of ways. So I think they must improve the lenses on the more expensive VR headsets sooner or later, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. But anyways, I think it's just such a letdown that HTC didn't even improve the lenses, and when now they're saying, hey, it's the Pro, it's the best thing that you can buy. It's not true. Anyways, you know what? I was thinking for if you have an HTC Vive and you think about upgrading to the Vive Pro, probably for the price of one Vive Pro, you can now buy 4 Oculus Go for your whole family. Yeah, and you can honestly you can give it to your best friend that you want to meet in VR because you seldom see him, but who has no idea about computers. Just give him one. Then give one to your mom, who also probably lives a bit far away from you, and give one to your wife or to your girlfriend. And you know what? And then you can all meet them in VR, because, well, there are pretty cool social experiences to be had in this Oculus Go, right? Like the Oculus rooms, and they want to make it possible for you, to watch TV together. Big screen is going to come out for Oculus Go, or is already available. So that is pretty awesome, right? Don't you think?
I was about to say that this Oculus Go is going to have a lot of social apps, especially also not only the big screen, but also probably like the Facebook pages. Is it called Facebook? I never even tried
Spaces. Oh man, you still haven't tried it, right? It's great.
No, I'm a little bit anti-Facebook. That's probably why. Okay. But still, I have an account, but I don't use it that much.
Okay.
So, but anyway, I think the Oculus Go headset is gonna serve a big purpose for people that are watching a lot of series, a lot of movies, and they can finally do it together in the Netflix application, in the big screen application, in a lot of cool social applications. They can just sit in the same sofa, or well, they can sit in different countries, but they can still join the same sofa and watch the same movie. And this is the strength of this headset, I think, because it is mobile, it is easy to carry with you. So just that social thing is going to get much bigger in those mobile headsets, just like the Oculus Go, because you can bring it everywhere and you can always connect to your friends anytime.
Exactly.
With the HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and all the others, you're kind of limited to your home, your little home base with your room scale and everything. So yeah, I think it's the main purpose here. I think for this headset is, for now at least, and also considering the low specs. I mean, if you compare this to a PC, for a gaming PC, it's a big difference in specifications. So it's never going to be able to run a Doom VFR game or something. So I think that the people that buy this headset are gamers. They're mainly the all-around people that just want to enjoy VR for maybe like in half an hour, or maybe for a movie or something like that.
Yes, that makes sense.
But having that said, there are a lot of games. There is a lot of content available already.
Yeah.
And I saw a list of games, and we have like Cloudlands Mini Golf, we have Ultra Wings. So it's a good start at least.
I think so.
But I still think that we will never be able to reach that level of that gaming niche.
No.
Gamers will never care about this headset. That's for sure.
Of course, it's not a gaming headset. It's just like very very easy to use. I think even for the Gear VR, which is already not so complicated, right? You just need your phone and you just put it there. But still, to get the phone out, to put it there, it is still not so easy and not so barrierless. So I think it is a big achievement of these whole standalone devices that you can simply put them on and you are in VR without having to turn on anything, without having to start any app or do anything. This kind of easy to get into VR point is very cool, I think. Also, what was my personal gripe with Daydream and Gear VR? I love to enjoy it, yeah, but then I cannot use my phone anymore. First of all, I can't use my phone anymore, and then after I was in VR, probably for an hour or so, yeah, then my batteries are depleted.
Yeah, they drain the battery. You get the phone very hot. There are so many solutions for the Daydream and also the Gear VR. Yeah,
so,
overheating.
So like lots of problems involved with with Gear VR and with Daydream, and I think that is pretty cool.
There is a big problem with this Oculus Go headset, and that is the battery, actually.
Okay.
Because I read it's only 2.5 hours of lifetime.
Yes.
Or, yeah, from the 100% to 0, and you are not supposed to charge it while you use it. I mean, compared to the smartphones and the Gear VR, for example, or Daydream or whatever, you can actually charge them while you use them. So let's say you want to watch a 3-hour Schindler's List movie or something, you will not be able to, because the battery will drain off after 2.5 hours, and then you have to wait for like 3 hours or something to charge it up completely.
Yeah, that is an oversight. I agree. That's not so great. Also, if you have this long flight to Asia, 10, 11 hours, well, you can use it for 2 hours, and then it's gone, right? Yeah. Or you have to reload it for the next 3 hours, and then for the last couple of hours for the flight, you can watch again.
I think, though, that you can still probably charge the device while you're using it, but Oculus is not recommending that. They said that in the specifications and in the manual, as far as I know. I don't have the headset, so I don't know. I haven't been reading that by myself, but I saw some review of it, and they were talking about that you are not supposed to charge it. Probably, maybe because you are destroying the battery after a while. Maybe the lifespan is going to be much shorter if you are charging it while using it.
Could be. I think the problem is overheating. I think they are afraid that the device already gets warm when you use it, and then if you also charge it at the same time, could be overheating problems that they simply want to avoid. I still think it can work. And I'm quite sure lots of people are going to actually charge it while they use it. But just to make sure that they won't run into any problems if a device should blow up while somebody is playing and loading it charging it at the same time. So that's why they would say, okay, better don't charge it when you use it. But I think it should work, and probably lots of people are doing it right now already.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's obvious. 2.5 hours, that's nothing. It's maybe something if you're just playing a game like Cloudlands mini golf, you can jump into it, play it for like an hour or so, just putting some balls into the holes. But then this headset is not really made for gaming, for that little casual gaming. It's more made for those social apps and those movie apps and everything. So it should have at least 4 hours or maybe 5 hours of battery to be like a complete VR experience for people, especially on travel, on journeys and so.
Yeah, would be better. Totally agreed.
Well, also, we were talking about that content for the Oculus Go, and there is no YouTube application yet.
That's true.
Isn't that strange? I mean,
yeah. Well,
is that because of Facebook, Google? Is that the war?
That is definitely because of the fight between Daydream and Oculus, for sure. Well, of course, Google wants to push their own system. They're going to come out with the Lenovo Mirage Solo, the Daydream standalone headset. They're going to come out with it in 3 days, and this is going to be the big competitor. So of course they want to have all these Google experiences for themselves on Daydream, right?
Yeah. It's a little bit typical of Facebook to just close it to its own platform. It's and
I think they want it. I think they would want. They even if it's Facebook, they still would want to have YouTube. But I think it's Google that doesn't allow them to put it there because they simply want to have another argument to get the Daydream instead. Because on Daydream you have all that YouTube stuff.
This is a big problem, and also you probably, maybe I'm drifting off topic again, but maybe you heard about that Apple headset coming up, maybe in 2020 or something.
Yeah.
And you know, even though an Apple VR device sounds very cool, it's going to probably look great and it's going to probably be high quality, but
it will have a wall guard for sure.
If they lock in all their users to their little user base, or little, it's not little, but think about the content. How about Steam games? How about all the other content? They will probably even block out YouTube from this, and it's going to be like a, I don't know.
That's another great topic to talk about next time.
Yeah, we should save that for another topic.
Exactly. Yeah. So, what do you think about modding? Because for $199, I think some people might even just want to buy that device and mod the shit out of it. Probably. I was just thinking, I mean, you made this incredible video about the lens mod, right? Where you input the Gear VR lenses into the Vive. You know what I'm thinking right now? Wouldn't it be exciting to do a lens mod? Just put these nice upgraded Oculus Go lenses into the Oculus Rift?
Yeah, I was really wondering about that, because it should be possible theoretically, but it depends on the distance from between the panels and the lens.
Of course.
So
length, everything,
and I'm not sure. Probably the dimensions of the lenses are not exactly. I don't know, guys. Maybe you out there know.
Does anybody know?
Because I don't know. I have not seen the Oculus Go in real life yet. So I don't know. I cannot compare it.
I'm gonna get it tomorrow.
I hope so. I hope so. Let me know, and then I'm gonna buy the Oculus Go just for the lenses.
Yeah, you know what? If that would work. If a lens mod would work, I'm sure lots of people would love to get the device just for the lenses. Because, well, if it's true that they're so much better, and if the focal length and all this stuff is comparable, I'm sure somebody would find some kind of 3D printer to make some kind of adapter. Or what? Yeah. But well, I can only guess now since I don't have the Oculus Go yet. But that would be definitely something really, really interesting. And yeah, I know that in my community there are some modders, some people who have like who are into this whole 3D printing, like Hemi, for example. Probably Hemi can help us with the 3D print, and then we can try it out.
Yeah, Hemi is doing a great job with this 3D print.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome.
Also, I think that the price point of $200, at least if we go for the 32 gigabyte version, it's not that bad for just a pair of very good lenses. If you think about it, I think a lot of people would pay that price just for two lenses if the Oculus Rift lenses would be upgradable. So yeah, so this is something out for you guys to try out there, and let us know. And I'm very excited because there is a chance I will get that headset.
Oh, that's good.
If this works.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, we want to see that next lens mod. That was an incredible video. And you know what? Also, I was thinking for modding the device. As you know, for the Gear VR, you can make the Gear VR play Steam VR games, right? With this software called V-Rig or Vrig. You can make it play Steam VR games. And also, if you want to have 6 degrees of freedom, well, then you can get the Nolo VR. You know, right? The Nolo VR, this kind of attachment. You can attach it to the headset, and you will have 2 6 degrees of freedom controllers. And together with V-Rig, you can have some kind of high-end VR experience with your cardboard phone. So it does work with the Gear VR. I haven't yet heard any word about the Oculus Go. I did some research and I was looking in some Reddit groups, but it seems it's not available yet. First of all, because, well, it is a very closed system now, right? The Oculus Go. Yeah. It's not, it's not anymore pure Android.
I think it also depends a lot on the USB connection it's using, because the Gear VR is using a specific. You can switch to a specific type of USB connection where you can transfer the data from the, well, let's say using the V-Rig software. So it all depends if it's even going to be possible. Maybe if they mod the software, maybe if they run some custom firmware or something something like that.
Okay.
It's very interesting though, indeed, because I mean, the better panels, the better lenses, and then some Nolo on top of it. It could be actually maybe almost as good as experience as a regular Oculus Rift, or better even, especially in flight simulators, racing simulators. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure, but it all depends if people take their time to really mod this thing, and I really hope so.
That would be good because, well, it's the Oculus Go does have fast Wi-Fi, so it could work. I believe. I believe it's just about how to sideload that stuff onto the Oculus Go. But well, as you know, the hacker community is very, very they are very fast. So I'm kind of positive that this is going to happen.
Eric Hartley is mentioning that the V-Rig will run, but currently requires developer options. And also the Oculus Go headset is apparently micro USB only,
exactly.
And it's USB 2.0.
Yeah, that is strange though. Yeah, well, they had to cut costs on every corner, right? They didn't make it for those hackers. They made it for my mom, who just puts it on and who doesn't think about V-Rig, Nolo VR, and all this crazy stuff that we directly think about, right?
Yeah.
It's not made for us. It's made for our moms. So so that's why they cut corners, and they don't need to have the USB-C, right? They don't need to. It's for the general public. It's just about charging the device and probably putting some videos on it, and
but I find it a little bit strange because the USB-C could actually charge the Oculus Go device faster.
Okay, yeah, but
so
probably was $2 more expensive.
that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. No, really. So they needed to cut the price on every single thing. So that's why that's the case. Yeah. Anyways, also, I think another big thing on this device is going to be porn.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think personally, okay, I'm saying this live. I'm saying this probably for the first time ever publicly, but VR porn is something really, really cool. If you are into that, I know a lot of people haven't tried that, and I
think a lot of people have tried it.
Yeah, I can admit I have tried it because I'm a curious person. I tried both, those 180 and 360 videos. No, not 180 times. No, I'm talking about 180 degrees. But also I tried some applications or some games where you actually can interact with your wands or hands and do some stuff. So
with your wands,
Yeah, but so I think this is going to be a big thing, especially for VR porn movies. I don't know if it's going to be something for the interactive things like games and so, but because you only have one remote, as far as I know, right? It's not two controllers; they're not tracked even.
Yeah, but it's perfect, right? I mean, in one hand you can have your remote, and in the other hand
you can have your other remote. Yeah,
you can have the other remote.
No, but seriously, I think there's going to be a big market for it for sure, especially in Asia, where it already is a huge market. Yes. VR porn is huge in Asia.
Yeah, I think so. So this is going to be very, very big, and for $199, well, I must be honest, I have also tried it in the name of science, right, to find out what is all this about.
Of course. It's always science,
Yeah, it's all in the name of science.
Yeah.
And it is it's pretty unbelievably good. I mean, if like the difference between a normal 2D porn movie and a VR porn movie is like unbelievable. It's like you're in the middle of the thing.
One of my closest friends, he bought an HTC Vive last year, and the first thing I actually showed him after installing his lighthouses and everything, I put up 180-degree 3D porn movie. It was like a free sample you can download for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
He got blown away. He got blown away. I promise you. He sold his Vive afterwards. But I can
He
promise
sold his wife or his wife?
Vive, and I can promise you that he watched that clip probably more than he was playing any VR games, because he was so fascinated about that. So yeah, I think once you try it, you will probably never watch porn on your TV again. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I would imagine that people would not go back to normal 2D porn, because this is simply too mind blowing. And as you know, I went to Barcelona to this porn set, right, to do this documentary.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome videos.
That was really fun, and I talked to the boss of the studio, and we talked about VR. And well, the interview is also online. People can watch it if they want. And yeah, he was so sure that porn is actually the killer application of VR, and he's sure that like 99% of all male VR users actually have tried it, and I totally agreed. And he was super excited about 2018 because the Oculus Go is going to come out.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I have no doubts about that. I mean, porn has changed the industry a lot of times before with the VHS and in the past.
Exactly.
So maybe it won't change the VR industry, but it's gonna probably affect it a lot, and it's gonna make it grow just because of that. It's gonna be a totally different audience. It's gonna make it grow. It's gonna make VR grow. It's gonna maybe gather a different audience as well. That's maybe are not doing any Facebook spaces or playing any VR games, but they're probably just gonna buy the headset for that.
Make it grow, exactly. Lance Cheerhard just said on the YouTube, he said, "Make it grow." And Voidmaster One says, "Yep, it's gonna make it grow indeed."
Yep,
of
it's
course,
gonna
the
definitely
VR industry,
make it.
right? Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I mean, lastly, what would you say, Sebastian, about the Oculus Go? Is it something? I mean, you have bought it, you ordered it, right?
Yes, I ordered it. It's gonna come tomorrow.
So, what do you think is gonna be the main purpose for you using the Oculus Go, and why did you decided to put those 220 euro or something? 200. So yeah, I'm curious.
Well, as you know, I'm kind of like a hardware fan. I really love hardware. I love to get new devices and stuff. So for me, of course, it makes sense for the channel. First of all, that I want to show it. I want to unbox it. I want to review it. And I simply want to let all my MRTV subscribers know, is it worth it to pay that $199? And I want to tell them how good does porn work on that device.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I just want to review it. So that's the professional part, but also actually I must be very honest here, I'm kind of fascinated by it because of the price. I hate it if the price is too expensive, like what we saw with the Vive Pro. I mean, everybody knows it. I really don't like it because it is much too expensive and it doesn't deliver.
And let's not forget the Vive Focus as well.
Yeah,
exactly. It's only on the Chinese
too
market.
Expensive. It's
I think it's double the price. I think.
It's 600. Yeah, it's very expensive. Anyways,
600. Wow.
Yeah. So So I simply love it that Oculus really pushes VR, even though probably that device is not for us, right? Because we're totally spoiled. But I really love it that they come out there with a $199 device, and people are going to pick it up. People are going to use it. People are going to be fascinated by their first steps into VR, and then they want more. And you know what? They make the whole audience bigger. So it's going to be more worth it for more developers to make more awesome apps, to make more awesome games, because they will sell it to more people, since there are more people now who can actually buy it. So I think Oculus is doing a great job to put this out at $199, and I'm excited about this device. I want to see how much VR can you get for $199. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to get it, and I want to see what can people do with the $199 device. And you know what? I'm going to make a lens comparison between the Oculus Go and the HTC Vive Pro. And I have the feeling that the Vive Pro is not going to look good. And yeah, this is going to be very exciting, I think. So for me, I am excited about the device.
Awesome. No, but that explains it all, and I totally agree with you that this is gonna be kind of a game changer for a lot of people. They finally can afford this device because I mean, $200 maybe is nothing in some other countries, or I mean, $400 for like an Oculus Rift bundle. But this is a lot of money for a lot of people, both in Europe, in Asia, and also in America. But $200 and also without any requirement for any PC.
Awesome.
Any other hardware or even a smartphone, you can get everything in one package for $200. So yeah, I totally agree. I mean, don't take me wrong. I said that I'm not going to buy it now, but that's just for personal reasons. I think I don't have the time enough to explore it. There's so much more coming up, and so yeah, I would probably wait for the Santa Cruz or something.
Okay, that makes sense.
Me more.
That makes sense.
But, yeah.
Anyways, let's also for a moment talk about the competition. Let's talk about the Lenovo Mirage Solo. It's going to come out in 3 days on the 5th of May. And it is the competitor from Google or from Lenovo, right? It runs on the Daydream system. And the big difference, first of all, is the price. It's double as expensive at $399, but it has 6 degrees of freedom for the headset. What do you think about this device?
It all depends on the content. I still think, I mean, 6 degrees of freedom is great, and I really wish that the Oculus Go had it. But paying another $200 just to get that, I mean, there's not much more of improvements except that 6 degrees of freedom, right? Yeah. I think there's not much more improvements. So
no.
It depends on what content they can bring. If they can bring some content that it's not even possible on the Oculus Go, of course, that's going to be a big, a big step forward for, or maybe a big step backwards for the Oculus Go in comparison. But if it's worth it, if it's really a competitor, I don't know. I think it could be a different audience for these two headsets, to be honest, because I think people that buys this Oculus Go want some simplified headset. They're probably just going to watch, most of the time they're just going to watch movies and do some sort of stuff. Yeah. So to make them pay the double price to just get that room scale tracking or whatever you call it is, I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I think it's not going to happen. I think people are not going to buy the Daydream Mirage Solo. Probably, you know what? I think actually, of course, I'm quite sure that the device is better. Of course, it has 6 degrees of freedom, right? It has, you can also, it has like you can expand the storage on the Mirage Solo, and I believe it's better. I think there's no question about it. The device is better, but double the price? No, I believe.
But we still don't know how much the Santa Cruz is going to cost either. I would assume it's going to cost around $400 as well, just like the Vive Focus.
Yeah, for that, that's a different story, right? But I'm talking now about the Lenovo Mirage Solo, like double the price. Right, the Lenovo one, the Daydream one.
But the Lenovo one, I mean, the big difference here is the 6 degrees of freedom.
Yes.
This is what the Santa Cruz is going to have. So I think that's probably the price point you will have to, or the price you will have to pay to get that 6 degrees of freedom, because of the probably inside-out cameras, the tracking, or however it's made.
Yeah. So, but with the Santa Cruz, I would be ready to pay that directly, because it also has 2 6 degrees of freedom controllers. But the Lenovo Mirage Solo does not have 2 degrees of freedom controllers. It has only one controller, and this one controller is only 3 degrees of freedom.
So it's not tracking in. Okay, I was actually
No.
sure that it was tracking in in the full room scale or 6 degrees.
Yeah. For the headset, yes, you can dodge and everything, but for the one controller, it is only pointing. So I think that's not good enough.
No, that's probably if it would be $300, maybe
Yes.
like a 50% extra, but paying 100% more. No, I'm not so sure about it.
No.
And have in mind, this is a mobile headset. For $400, you can get a full bundle,
Exactly.
Rift bundle, and you can almost get the HTC Vive bundle for that money as well. You can get almost any Windows mixed reality headset for that as well. So
Exactly.
I don't know.
No.
And you have to remember that the mixed reality headsets are quite mobile, because
Yeah,
if you
pretty
have a
good.
laptop, if you have a, I could practically sit with my Samsung Odyssey on an airplane together with my laptop and play games. Well, maybe not using those WANs, of course, but I
Yeah.
could probably play like Project Cars or whatever,
Yeah.
anywhere. So it
Exactly.
is almost mobile. Of course, it's a much more expensive solution buying that laptop, but still.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very, very tough call to pay 400 for the Daydream Lenovo Mirage Solo. I
For
really I
mobile,
don't see it happen.
for mobile device whatsoever, I think any mobile device should not cost more than 200, $250 or something. It's a good price point to start off with VR this way, to make it a little bit more mobile. But it's always going to be simplified. We're always limited with that hardware. We're always limited with, especially the content, because of the hardware, of course. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical to that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, but anyways, I think all of us are waiting for the Oculus Santa Cruz, right? With a 2 degree with the two 6 degrees of freedom controllers. And yeah, that's going to be super, super exciting. Anyways, I think that's enough for the first topic. What do you think, Martin?
I think so. I think we have covered most of it. Probably we have forgot something. I tried to type down some of the stuff here, write down, but
Yeah.
it didn't went that well. I was just too stressed today. But no, I think we've covered it, and it's a great headset, but nothing for me. And it's a great headset, and you will probably use it. But I'm sure that while traveling, this is a good headset. If I
Yeah,
would
I
go
think
for a 1 month trip to Thailand again, or something that I used to do a lot before, I would definitely buy this headset just to have fun in VR anytime. You know, at the
exactly.
beach,
Yeah.
at the hotel room, in the taxi, in the airplane.
Everywhere.
But at home, there's so much
Yeah,
better
of course,
solutions.
of course, for you, yes, exactly. And yeah, I also think, well, I think it's going to be a big hit. I really hope it's going to open up the mass market. It's going to be picked up by people who are not gamers and VR enthusiasts like us, and just to give them a first taste of what VR could be like.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay, cool. So let's go to our second topic.
Yes.
Our second topic is
Wireless virtual reality, right?
wireless virtual reality, and I have recently made a review about the TP Cast for the Oculus Go. No, not for the Oculus Go.
Oculus Rift.
For the Oculus Rift. And yeah, so my review was kind of negative,
It was a little bit salty, yeah.
it was a bit salty. Yeah, I was a bit pissed because simply the original software of that TP Cast is not good enough. And you know, I had to buy the Open TP Cast software, and I had to open the device and put another micro SD card, and just then it worked flawlessly. My microphone worked again, and I could enjoy the virtual reality. So yeah, you have watched my review and you wrote a long comment, and please tell the audience about your comment, what you wrote.
First off, I fully agree with you about that issue with the tracking, especially on the Oculus Rift, because the tracking issue with the default software is an Oculus Rift issue, or, well, some kind of a mismatch between the TPCast and the Oculus Rift. This is actually not an issue with the HTC Vive and the TPCast, not for me at least. I've never had any tracking issues by using the default software. But having that said, as you said, it's a big problem that people really have to get that open TPcast custom firmware to even get it to work properly as they are actually advertising this product. Because I remember when I set up the Oculus Rift and the TPcast back in December last year, and I had some tracking problems. But for some reason, I think it got even worse now, because last a week ago or something, I was at my brother's home and installed his TPcast on his Oculus Rift. And he had so much problems, it was ridiculous. It was like impossible to play. The controllers were drifting away, the headset was shaking.
Exactly the same thing.
So there is obviously something very wrong with that default software. And even though TPcast actually upgraded it or updated it recently, it still haven't helped at all, I think. So yeah, it is a big issue, and I know $25 maybe it's not much. I mean, if you compare it to the $300 or $400 you pay for the TPcast itself, but it's still an cost up on the TPcast cost. So
exactly,
and a lot of people will never do this. This is something that not every person can do or want to do. To open up that battery adapter.
Exactly, it's not so straightforward.
No, and I know the tutorial on the Open TPcast is quite straightforward, but yes, not if you're not technically.
Yeah, I mean, for us it's okay. Yeah, we did it, but first of all, I think in general, if I buy a device that costs 389 euros here in Germany, I expect it to work flawlessly out of the box. You know, I pay like nearly the same price as I paid for the whole Oculus Rift, just to make it wireless, and then I need to open it up, probably voiding the warranty. Yeah, I need to get that micro SD card out, find a micro SD card reader, and then I have to download this Win32 app to put the OpenTPcast image onto it. Then I have to go to some website and use my PayPal account to pay $25. No.
And also, if you do it wrong, you will have to pay like $50 for it, because you have to use the right link to actually end up at the virtual hero software.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the original price is $50 for one license, and
really?
This is actually for one. You have to take that in mind. That for me, having an HTC Vive and Oculus Rift, both wireless with both and TPcast device, I had to buy 2 licenses.
Wow, that is so sad.
Because that license is like programmed or stuck into that serial number of the headset. Once you activate it, it's always going to be activated. So that is good. I mean, if you are just like taking your Oculus Rift to another PC, let's say you come over here and just plug it into my computer, it's going to work with the virtual here. It's going to be automatically licensed, because it's somehow, it is probably an online database just registering that headset being licensed to that license. But still, you have to buy 2 of these, and
yeah, that's unfortunate.
It's really bad. So yeah, as you say, it's really strange that they cannot bring a working product that actually costs almost 400 euro in Europe and $400 in the United States.
Yeah, I think now in the United States now it's cheaper.
Again?
Okay, reconnection. Back. Okay, it works again. Hello. But do you get now? But does the microphone now work? I think they have just updated it, right? Even the microphone can work now.
Yeah, they have updated it, at least for Oculus Rift. I'm not sure if they have updated it for HTC Vive.
I think they have updated it for the HTC Vive, and for the Rift, actually not yet. They're still.
Oh, okay. So there was the. Okay, but I mean, until now it was not possible to use the microphone. But the problem is, once you put that Open TPcast SD card inside of that TPcast unit, you cannot even use the default software anymore. You have to put back the original SD card or the original firmware.
Yes.
So I actually tried that, because I was curious about that new software some week ago on the Oculus Rift, but nothing happened. It wasn't not even connecting to, because it's probably some different password or whatever.
Yeah, it could be.
Different connection.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so this is a bit unfortunate. But Martin, I still want to ask you, $299, is it worth it?
I would say, okay, I may sound biased now, but you know me, I bought the TPCast devices, all of them I had. And I'm just saying it from my own experience that even it doesn't matter if it's TPCast or Intel or whatever, the wireless solution is just, it is actually a game changer in VR. Once you try it, let me give you an example. If you try it for one day, you're gonna be like, this was okay. I mean, it's a little bit more freedom. You can turn around 100 times and nothing is gonna happen. You don't have any cord to tangle upon. But once you start to use it daily for a couple of weeks maybe, and then you try to go back to a corded headset, then you really realize the big difference. And that's what keep me telling all the people that are asking me that I think that wireless VR is here to stay, and I would never go back, well, on purpose, use the Vive or the Oculus Rift corded, because it is an experience that you really cannot describe how much more freedom you get.
Yes. No, I totally agree with you. I really agree with you. Like, my Oculus Rift was kind of collecting dust, right? Because I was normally using my Samsung Odyssey, but now that it's wireless, oh my goodness, it's so awesome, right? It's really a great experience, and yeah, that is without a doubt. It's really tough now to go back to anything that has a wire. It's really awesome. It's fantastic, and yeah, we all need to go wireless as soon as possible.
So I think that even though it is a further cost of $25, but if you are technical guy, you know, if you really know how to do this open TPCast upgrade, and you are curious about wireless virtual reality, don't be afraid to try out the TPCast. Try it out for 1 week. You can probably worldwide just send it back to Amazon or wherever within maybe 1 week or 2 weeks. I think here in Sweden it's like 30 days or at least 2 weeks, where you have a period then you can try out the hardware and then send it back if you're not satisfied. Yeah. And I promise you that already after 1 week you will understand the difference. And maybe you should actually try to go back to those courses just for maybe a half an hour, and then you will understand. This is like going from, you know, widescreen television back to the old format, you know, that 4:3.
Yeah, no.
It's maybe not a big thing, but once you
get used to stuff, right? You get used to the better hardware stuff. That's just normal, right?
And also, I mean, there's some stupid examples. I mean, this may sound ridiculous, but sometimes when I just play here for like 2 hours or so, of course I need to go to the toilet sometimes, right? So instead of just taking off that headset and everything, I could actually just go with that headset and everything.
You do
just
it.
Put it up.
You do it. Admit it.
Yeah, I've done that many times. And then when I get back,
just for the small one, or also for the big one?
Does it really matter? But still, the fact is that
I'm just imagining
sitting there for half an hour at the toilet. Oculus Rift on top. No, but seriously, most of the time it actually syncs back automatically when you arrive to. And most of the time, not always.
You arrive back from the toilet.
Yeah. It depends on how long you're staying there at the toilet, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyways, this is really good. So I also think, like, if you have another $300, yes, it is really awesome, and it is a whole different thing, really, because you don't have to care about that wire. You can really totally immerse yourself, because really that wire, it reminds you, hey, you are a guy who has a funny thing in your face, and you are connected to the computer, right? But if you have that wireless thing on, well, then the immersion is definitely better. And yeah, it works really well, at least with the OpenTPCast software. But you know what? I can tell you that I have the Samsung Odyssey since a couple of months ago, and I just love it. The resolution, everything. Yeah, it's good.
But still, if I just want to play a room scale game in here for just maybe for myself, or maybe make another gameplay video, I still prefer the HTC Vive or the Oculus Rift, just because they are wireless. It's just so much easier for me.
Yeah,
put that back in, put it on the belt, and I can just play and I can move around. It is a big difference.
It is better.
Yeah, I really wait for that day I can play with the Odyssey wireless, because this is going to change so much. It's going to change the whole feeling of playing around. I'm tangling around with that cable all the time right now when I'm playing with the Odyssey.
Yeah, but it's just because you're used to it. You know, at the time that I was not already used to wireless, I didn't even think about the cable. It was totally fine for me.
Exactly.
It's fine. So you get so spoiled. So here now in the chat, there's some people who say it's the cable is fine, and I totally get you, Lance Cheerhard. He's saying nah, the cable is okay. Yes, I was there with you, but once you try the wireless, it is just so hard to go back.
Yeah. You change your way of playing once you go wireless also. I realized that when I played the Unnightly, I think it was a game a stealth game that you're, like a thief kind of game. And that game, I was totally sweaty after playing that game. I played it for like 2 hours, and I was like laying almost on the floor here. I was rolling around, I was really trying to hide myself. And at that time, afterwards, when I was watching at the recordings I made before I published that video, I was like, this would never be possible with a wire. I would be tangled in. The cable would probably loosen up from that link box from the HTC Vive. It would be totally impossible. So yeah, once you go wireless, you're going to change your way. You're going to move a lot more. You're going to turn around a lot more. You're going to stop thinking about which way you are turning around, because now if you turn around once or two times to the left, you're always going to have that in mind, that you have to turn
You have to turn exactly the other way around, so to untangle your wires, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it is better. So, but you know what? I'm wondering one thing. So TPcast came out with this, like sometime last year, but they're going to come out with a TPcast Plus really soon. So what is the TPcast Plus? The TPcast Plus is an updated version that hopefully does away with all the software problems that we saw with the original TPcast. And also there's going to be some design changes. So the battery is going to be put on the top of your head. So it's not going to be the belt anymore. And it sounds pretty good. But I'm wondering, why would they already come out with the Vive with the TPcast Plus so soon after they came out with the original? So probably people who are wondering, should I buy the TPcast now? They will probably wonder, hey, why don't I just wait a couple of months for the TPcast Plus to come out? What do you think, Martin?
I'm not really sure what's the big difference, except from that head mount thing you get extra now with the Plus version, that you can mount the battery and everything on top of your head instead of having that cable to your belt or pocket. I'm not sure about the big difference between those two.
There's no router. You don't have to put a router anymore.
I've never seen that router as a big issue. At least if you have like a second LAN port on your mobile, or if you have like a spare USB or PCI Express network card, you just plug it in. I mean, it's a cable, it's a router. You plug it into the power, you plug it in the cable into that LAN port, and it just works.
Yes.
So, okay, it's gonna take some space, and I have 2 of these routers here, but I mean, we have so much other trash. So that takes place
exactly.
now.
It's so full of cables and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I think that they're gonna, if they replace the router, they're gonna probably use a USB dongle or something.
Exactly. That's what they want to do.
And I would say that we have already enough of USB units already. If you have an Oculus Rift, you have to use 4 USB connections for the sensors, with 3 sensors and the headset.
Yeah.
If you have HTC Vive, okay, it's less because those lighthouses are not USB driven.
That's better.
But still, having another device connected to your USB, especially your motherboard USB, which is quite limited, I see this as a bigger problem than the router version. So for me,
I'm fine with the router version.
Yeah. So your question remains: if I would recommend people to wait? Well, I'm not sure. I would actually. if you want to go into virtual reality wireless, just do it now. There's no reason to wait because I don't think they can improve so much more.
I agree.
But if you're not so technical, if you don't want to fiddle with that OpenTPCast stuff, you're not sure about the default software that's obviously updated now, but we still don't know. I haven't tried it, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. So I would probably wait. I don't know. If you're not so technical, if you just want to have a plug-and-play solution.
Yeah. But I think it's not complicated to set up the TPCast. I mean, other than the OpenTPCast stuff, right? If you could use the original software, it's not so complicated to set up.
I mean, it's the same thing as setting up an HTC Vive. Just like base stations you have there, you have to have that transmitter, and the rest of it is quite straightforward. So
yeah,
it's
going to be more expensive. The TPCast Plus. Alex Keeble just asked, will cost reduce by waiting? No, because the thing is, the TPCast Plus will be more expensive than the original TPCast, so probably it's not really worth the wait. Also, for me personally, I'm fine with the battery thing dangling at the belt, right?
I was about to say that.
I don't know. And putting the thing on my head probably is going to be not so great. What do you think, Martin?
It could be a little bit heavy, and I think actually that with the new TPCast Plus edition, they will make a smaller one, a smaller battery, which is obviously shorter lifetime, maybe 3 hours gameplay instead of 4 or 5. So because this one I have 4 of these batteries here, and they all weight like half a kilo or something, 440 or 460 grams per battery.
Yes. And
having that on our head, it depends on the weight. Of course, it depends on how the weight distribution. Of course, if they can somehow make it more stable, so it's not back heavy or front heavy, and so.
Wow.
But I don't see any reason to switch to that head-mounted battery because. Me neither. If you're bothered about that cable at the back, you can always put the cable inside of your T-shirt. I do that most of my time actually. Just because then you get rid of the cable whatsoever. And if you're moving your hands a lot, and so you're never going to tangle with that cable.
Got it.
Either.
Got it. So yeah. So Martin, we're getting closer to the end of the show, but at the end I would still want to ask you about the Vive wireless adapter from HTC. What do you think? What are your thoughts on it?
You mean that's Intel slash Intel? What is it called?
The one that HTC is going to sell quite soon.
I am excited to see it because it has some. I mean, it's not limited to the resolution as the TPCast is right now. It can obviously run the Vive Pro. Maybe not the first version, but there are going to be probably some other version that will be supporting the Vive Pro and some other headsets. And it is a step forward, but that PCI Express card is nothing that I'm a fan of because I told you that before. If you have a laptop, that's going to be quite impossible, or maybe there are ways to connect a PCI Express card to a laptop with some kind of connection. I'm not sure, but still, it's more of a hassle actually to open up your PC. That most people actually don't even do. A lot of people just buy a desktop PC and they never open it up even. Now they need to open it up, screw in that PCI Express card, which a lot of people are afraid of doing, putting new stuff into the motherboard. It looks scary if you do that for the first time. And also a lot of motherboards are limited to a certain amount of a PCI Express cards. And for example, if you have a graphic card and you have like a capture card like me, and maybe you have like an USB PCI Express card, then you may be out of PCI Express ports. It's going to be impossible. You have to remove something to even get that wireless virtual reality.
Exactly. That is not a good. That's not good. And also, just like you just said, sorry, for people who have a laptop to run their VR, right? Like me, I'm running it from my GTX 1070 MSI Raider. Yeah, I cannot use it.
No. Now, maybe there is some way. I don't know if you can use that Thunderbolt or what is it called, that cable, that connection. Some laptops has that connection. But still, I think it's a dumb decision. And one more thing that I was thinking about is if you want two devices, for example, I mean, that Intel solution is probably going to be for more headsets than just HTC Vive Pro, I guess. I guess there's going to be more support for other headsets because it's partially an Intel device, right?
You mean
so
the one that HTC is going to sell?
Yeah, I think that this solution, that display link solution, will be used in other headsets, or there's going to be some kind of dedicated versions for maybe the Pimax. I don't know. We'll see about that. But there is, I mean, there are possibilities that it will be available. So in case you have an HTC Vive Pro and you maybe have an Pimax 8K later on, that also is going to be supported. So that means that you're going to need to use two PCI Express cards, or
yeah,
I'm not sure.
It could be. We don't know yet. We'll have to wait for it and see how it goes. Yeah, but yeah, I'm personally, of course, not a big fan of this PCI Express thing since I have a laptop. And yeah, so...
And also, the most important thing here is that remember what the HTC Vive Pro costs.
Yeah, it's a bit expensive.
So be prepared that this wireless device will be expensive as well. I'm quite afraid of that. Probably like $500 or something.
That would be terrible. I mean, they're doing everything wrong now with pricing, right? They're doing everything wrong now with pricing. It just clearly shows that they depend on those hardware sales because they don't have a software game like Oculus has. That's why Oculus can sell the Oculus Go for $199 because they have a software game, but HTC doesn't have one. So yeah, I don't see a bright future for HTC, honestly speaking.
We'll see about the future. We don't know yet. Maybe they will learn something from this. But this path they took now is the wrong path, I think. It's too early to go, pro. It's too early to go for the prosumers. It's a too small niche. And I mean, you've seen all the people's comments about the Vive Pro, and I think like 60-70% of the audience is not even considering buying an HTC Vive Pro just because of the cost, not because of the limited technology or the bad lenses. I mean, it's still a great headset, but it's just too expensive. And if they do the same with that wireless solution, it's going to be a fail as well. Or I'm not telling you that the Vive Pro is a fail, but it could have been so much bigger by now.
Agreed.
If they just could have priced it more reasonable.
Totally agreed. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Anyways, I think now we have kind of covered our two topics for our first live talk show. Martin, what do you think?
Yep, we have gone over time like in half an hour almost.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, we got too excited when we were talking about the porn.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's nice to see you all guys in here in this chat. I'm sorry, I'm not used to do live streams, so I have not even interacted with you. I've seen the chat a few times, just read some of the comments.
Yeah.
But I need to learn how to do two things at the same time.
Yeah, you know what? It is a bit harder now that we talk to also talk with the audience. When I have my MRTV lives every Saturday, I talk about the news and then I interact with the audience. But now, since we kind of interact with each other most of the time, it is kind of hard to look at the audience. But anyways, we're going to stop here for the public, but we're going to have Patreon after hours. So if you are a patron of SweViver or if you are a patron of me, then this show is not going to end because we're going to keep on streaming. And now we're going to interact with you guys. We want to give you a little look behind the scenes and what happens after the show. And well, we're going to talk with you, we're going to chat with you, and you can even directly speak to us via voice. So this is going to happen in the Patreon after hours. If you're not yet a patron of SweViver or me, consider doing it because that is how we're financing this channel, right? And your channel. So definitely check out the Patreon after hours for all Patreons who are watching this channel right now. You can check the link in the description below. Have a look in our Patreon because we're going to go live in the Patreon after hours right now after this talk. Right?
Yep.
All right. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's it for our world premiere of this live show. How do you like it?
It was awesome. I'm a little bit a little nervous and so, but I think I'm getting there.
No, man, it was totally great. It was fine. All right, guys. So that's it for the public part. Now we're going to go over to our Patreon after hours to speak with our supporters. And yeah, it was a great show. Thanks, Martin. And for all of you who watched this and who enjoyed it, we would be happy about a thumbs up, of course. And if you have not yet subscribed to SweViver or to me, to MRTV, then we would be happy if you would do so. But now, have a good evening and see you in the next show. Bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.